Yes, here we are. Welcome to Open Caller 2024,
See,
where we enter another year like Indiana Jones with the mantra, "It's not the years, honey, it's the mileage."
Ooh.
Deep cut.
Hola, ¿cómo está, mi amigo Corey?
You are all Duolingo'd up with your Espanol.
Sí, Espanol. Not really. Not really. Just key phrases. No gracias.
Mucho gusto.
Mucho gracias. Cerveza. That's it.
Mucho burrito.
Mucho burrito. Yeah. Classic.
Yo quiero
Classic.
Taco Bell.
That's right. Did not see any of those dogs while I was down there, unfortunately.
No chihuahuas.
No
Now they're all in
chihuahua.
Beverly Hills, right?
That's right. All being carried in a purse. Happy New Year, buddy.
Oh, happy New Year to you. I'm just pulling up notes if I still have any. It's been a while.
Yeah,
To quote Stained.
almost made a huge mistake as we were entering into the studio. I was having a bite of Kerr's toffee, forgetting how hard it is to get it off your teeth. Just as I was getting ready to enter into a podcast. Maybe not the smartest thing, but
Well,
here we are.
not the dumbest thing,
Tastes so good though.
right? That's what. And I got all this like other new stuff at Christmas that's on the desk, and I never thought, hey, you know what? I should find a place for it. So it's all
I should
in my way.
just shoved to the side for now
Oh yeah,
until episode
Um,
150.
little Ecto one.
Oh, that's sick. Let's see that again. Sorry, audio listeners. That's awesome. Is that like Hot Wheels? Like a proper Hot Wheels?
No. In that case, garbage.
Yeah.
No.
Made clear.
Yeah,
enough
but you know
that's a lot easier.
the door's open. That's all you need, right?
That's
It's
amazing.
metal.
As
Can
how
go
they
with
should
my
be.
from years and years and years ago. The Lego Ghostbusters.
Amazing.
Where's my Ecto one of that? Must have been. Oh yeah, it's nestled in the confines of my display case over there.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is what it is. So good, Brick. So you went away,
Yep.
left
Went
the
away.
country,
Yep.
flew over an entire other country to go to a third country.
Just leapfrogged right over the US of A, which I'm happy I did.
One of our NATO partners, not NATO, NAFTA.
NAFTA. Yeah. NAFTA partners jumped hipscopped, jumps, leapfrogged, whatever the word is that you're looking for.
That's right.
Went right
Hop,
over them.
skip, and a jump.
Straight over to the peninsula of Los Cabos and had a great time. 2 weeks of. There was a few observations I had from this vacation. Number one, I love heat. I love the warmth.
Okay.
I love not thinking about having to put on layers to go outside. I also like the fact that there's no rain. That's awesome.
There is no rain there.
No, I mean
just
no.
wasn't any rain.
It's just not. It's not the season for rain. And I, if able to, I'm definitely going to be a snowbird when I'm older.
Nice.
100%. Yep.
Fuck this Canadian climate.
That's right. And then I am also the bringer of the apocalypse, apparently, for at least the Ottawa and Eastern Ontario region. Because I was checking my Ring camera, not that I was obsessing over it, but I was checking my Ring camera every now and again. Green, completely green, as you would know, obviously. And as soon as we decide to come back home and touch base in Canada, the snow starts. So, and hasn't really let up since. So you're welcome,
so
Ontario.
Add you to the list of sons of bitches.
Sons of check.
Harbinger of doom.
That's right. Yep.
So you came back in with one snowstorm, and now we're getting the snowpocalypse. Like, again, we're old.
It's weather watch.
Weather. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
My favorite so far this week was all the surrounding areas of us on Tuesday before the first storm, preemptively canceling the buses for that day.
Right.
When nothing happened.
Yeah.
4 o'clock it starts, which most schools are done. But it didn't happen until much later. And then it wasn't as bad. So they canceled them again the next day because reasons. And then now we have
reasons.
Always reasons. We always have the piece of paper. So check notes, reasons.
Reasons. Check. Yes. I mean, they don't know what they're doing.
Like, it's insane that, and we've probably talked about this ad nauseum, we are at peak advancement of technology that we live in comparatively to when we were growing up. And yet they still cannot get weather right.
No, they'd be out of a job.
Like, there's better accuracy in picking like your sports winners and who's going to score first and who's going to tie it up and what, like, the sports books, like, people are crushing it. The weather, no,
we are getting crisp and clear pictures from fucking Mars at length, and yet we can't determine with any degree of accuracy when approximately the snow will start. Maybe January 12th, could be the 13th.
Well, being in the city, is that if there's a storm moving from the Ottawa Valley, as soon as it hits Arnprior, it's going to break up and nothing ever comes here.
Really?
Oh yeah, for many, many, many years we've noticed that the severe thunderstorm coming from the west, it starts as soon as it comes through the valley, a little past Arnprior, it just dissipates or splits and goes north or goes south. Or we often have had severe thunderstorm watches that were called, and then within like 5 minutes, the warning's gone.
That makes sense because we listen to a syndicated radio station most often called Moose FM. And they basically have Moose FM, Bancroft, Petawawa, Timmins. Shout out to Moose FM, great station. But we started listening to it when we were at the trailer, and we just continued listening to it after we sold the trailer. And during the summertime, you're right, almost every single day it's chance of thunder, chance of thunderstorms, chance of lightning, and then it never ever happens.
It's crazy.
So we cracked the code, Da Vinci.
Yeah, if it's forecasted, it doesn't happen.
That's right.
Basically what we're saying here. So Christmas destination vacation. Did it seem weird?
100% it did. Yeah, it did. Not so much because we had our Christmas the weekend prior, but still my folks and siblings wanted to get something for the boys, and just like we wanted to get something for our niece, and nothing too crazy, just considering they'd have to bring it back on the plane, but still just a few things to open up. But yeah, it was weird. We just sat outside, had coffee, the pool was there, basically with the t-shirt on, shorts, and watching them open up gifts. It was quite surreal, to be completely honest. That's where I was like, I need, like, for snow, I'm cool for Christmas and even to some degree New Year's. But
yeah, that's been the consensus of the conversations I've had with people. Like, they didn't mind it leading up, but like for the day, okay. And then some people had the opposite effect. Like, I also didn't mind it because of the travel. So like not having the snow and to go from here to Trenton or to whatever. But like now that it's like Christmas is done, I don't have to travel. It'd be nice, to go do some skiing or whatever. But then like now the year's over, like fuck it.
But I seem to remember last year, it was the same thing last year. Because I had a really hard time getting my rink set up because it was so mild, so late into the season or even the year, that when it turned to January, we just got hit really bad with snow. Because I also hurt my back last Christmas and was out for the count. So Jade was having to do all the heavy lifting, quite literally, and everything happened after Jan 1. So maybe this is the new world we live in. I mean, hey, I would be okay with that. Just kind of, last few months of the winter having snow. Cool.
And then there's the people who are like, oh, they need the ice for the canal. Like what? For the one day you're going to go out there?
For the fucking 10 days that it's the festival's going on and it drives tourism. Like, I'm sorry. We are not a city that is in need of that because we have so many other festivals throughout the summer. We have so many festivals. Like, that's the one thing I always tell people that aren't from Ottawa that are thinking about coming to Ottawa is that if you do decide to come here for a visit, strongly consider coming during the summer months because there is always something to do.
It's always something.
So if you miss Winterlude one season, it's going to hurt the economy. Not really. Like, it's not going to hurt the economy. You've got so many other things that'll happen throughout the year that will bring in those tourism dollars that I wouldn't cry too much over it.
But you cry a little bit.
A little bit. One alligator tear, perhaps.
Just the one.
Just the one.
And the boys didn't mind being away?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. They were it was their first time leaving.
Your dad?
Yeah, exactly. Where are we going to go next year? About that. We're going down to the living room. To the living room. Yeah, we might go a little further. We might go to the basement.
Wow.
Yeah. So no, that's something that they will definitely cherish, but won't happen all too often. That's for sure. As it should be, though, right? Because if you do it every year, then you get spoiled and you think that's what you should have every year, which is not the case. It's a nice treat when it happens, if it happens. There you go.
Yeah, because you want to have a routine, but you don't want the special things to be the routines, right? Become the norm.
Yeah. Would I like to do it every year? Yeah, 100%.
Will Mr. Bank Account allow me to do it every year?
Exactly. Absolutely not.
Yeah, you're not a McAllister.
No, just going to Paris and
Paris one day, and then was it Miami the another year?
What was the third one? Was the third one with Macaulay Culkin, or was it just the first two with him?
Just the first two. The third one was a whole.
That was like a decade.
Something like that. It was
later,
it was quite a few years later. Yeah,
okay.
He had aged out by then.
The buck stops at
you get two. Yeah.
So
not the spider rule. Everybody gets
not to go too off on a tangent, but we were watching Ace Ventura was on AMC yesterday. Last night, so we were watching it while we had dinner, and something or other. Maybe you had to go to IMDb, so I went to IMDb to check it out and found out that there was an Ace Ventura Jr. movie. I'm assuming it was that came out in 2009. Didn't watch the trailer, but I thought maybe that's something we could do in the future. I had no idea that there was I don't know if it's connected or whatnot, but they're trying.
So you want to watch like useless sequels with no attachments to the other to the originals, say cast aside from universe, and just like we watched Ace Ventura Jr., Son of the Mask, Home Alone 3 or 4.
Or
the other one was Home Sweet Home Alone. I think they released on Disney Plus.
Christmas Story 2. It keeps going and going and going. No, but I'm not gonna watch it. I wanted to just see, maybe if we're bored, if we're a little light on topics, we can watch the trailer and bitch about how awful it is.
Okay, we can set that up.
Get our interns to schedule that in.
I'm kind of mortified. Like after Gotham Knights, I'm kind of scared.
Yeah. I was able to watch 2 movies though.
Oh,
on the plane, on the same plane
movies.
Ride. Yeah.
What do we watch? We won't do mine.
We watched.
We'll do the. Hold on, where is it?
There we go.
All right, we'll watch.
So the first one I watched was Dumb Money, which had Seth Rogen.
Yeah, that's on my list to watch. I actually thought of watching it today.
Who's the guy's name that plays the Riddler? And
Paul Dano.
And Shailene Woodley. Woodley, just before I get into the review of this movie, fun fact, my dad had a New Year's Eve party at his place with all of his friends, and one of his friends that came over was Shailene Woodley's father. So sat down with him, shot the shit, told me lots of stories about her and her up and comings, and it was very interesting. A very nice person, very interesting person. But that's kind of the.
And had you known in advance, you would have asked, what was it like to shoot the scenes that I got cut from Amazing Spider-Man 2? And the fuck Aaron Rodgers.
The fuck, yeah, exactly. I couldn't bring myself to bring up Aaron Rodgers, but so Dumb Money follows the what was it, 2021? Follows the unlikely story of a bunch of private investors, like you and I, not going in and trying to undercut the what's the word I'm looking for? They were trying to drive up the price of the stock because but there's a term that it's on the tip of my tongue that the investors were trying to short. They were trying to short the GameStop. GameStop stock. Yeah, there's that. It's a really good movie. It's I didn't realize it was that long ago that it occurred. I thought, quite honestly, it was from last summer. Kind of shows you the whole, what is time. But it's worth it. I would say it's worth it. It just it's quite interesting. I'm interested in finance, and that story was quite unique, and you learn a bit at the end about what these investment firms are now, how they're approaching penny stocks, or the whole approach of shorting stocks. So yeah, it was good. I would recommend it. Probably didn't do a good job selling it on this particular podcast, but go for it. Take my word. You'll be happy. And then
it's a short runtime too. If it's less than 2 hours, it's a good time.
Yeah, exactly. The second one was with Jennifer Lawrence, the newest one.
No Hard Feelings.
No Hard Feelings. It was okay. It was all right. I found at times that have you seen it?
Not yet, no.
No, I found at times that she was trying a bit too hard, or the character is trying a bit too hard. There were some really funny moments in it, but I believe it's one of those movies where if you go into it not with high expectations and not necessarily with low expectations, just kind of neutral, I think you'll enjoy it.
Like, you'll get what you need to get from it.
That's right.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah.
Serviceable comedy, right?
You do see some boobies. Just letting the viewer know.
Feelings. Yeah, we'll have this playing in the background while this is going on.
That's right.
No, and then in with the runtime, 1 hour and 4 minutes.
Perfect. Yeah, and then we saw actually the first Hunger Games on Sunday. Oliver got the first Hunger Games book and read it, and we watched the movie. I had literally zero interest in ever watching that movie, but because he read the book, we're like, okay, we'll watch the movie afterwards. It's friggin' amazing.
It's the kids' version of The Most Dangerous Game.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. And he's halfway through the second book, so once he's done that, we'll watch it. We tried to convince him to finish it for this weekend so he can watch it, and the little bugger left it at school today, so it's like so son of a. So those are the movies I watched.
Then when he's done those, you have to watch like the prequel series that they're making.
Yeah. And the movie that's out, whichever prequel movie it is.
Something or other.
Fire, whatever it is. It's good. So good that I don't even pay attention to what the movies are called.
Why? They're not selling you on the title. They're selling you on the movie. So
that's right.
Who cares what it's called? What did I watch? Oh, Oppenheimer. I finally got to.
Oh, okay.
Time in on that.
Runtime is what, over 3 hours on that one?
It's around 3 hours. It was between. I had 3 hours to kill. Was it going to be Oppenheimer or The Killer of the Flower Moon? Scorsese or Nolan?
Yeah.
Nolan for this one. I'll watch.
I would have gone down that road as well.
It's they're both depressing subject matters. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. But like, how bad do you want to feel at the end of it?
It's like, do I want to do like just terrible like story and atrocities, or terrible character study into one singular atrocity? So I went the latter. But fair. Yeah, it's definitely it's not for me like the hype that it got over the summer. Which is it because of when it came out, or was it just social media wanted to create a trend, like blew it up so high? But it's exactly what you think it is. It's a character study on a man and the government and everyone's just horrible decision of like just like the worst mankind could ever do, and spread over 3 hours. It was nice to see That a good chunk of it wasn't just like the build up and what happened, is it focuses a portion of the time on the aftermath and how, like, he was scapegoated and kind of blamed
Okay.
for all this stuff. So that part was interesting, and then seeing how what other characters' lives became after that as well. But
So, 2
yeah, it's not
questions.
a fun time, but performances are
Um,
excellent.
yeah, as they would be with Nolan. And I mean, Nolan and Cillian Murphy, they have a working history together. They click,
Yep.
much like Leonardo and Scorsese do. So my first question is a question I always ask when runtimes are high: is did it feel like a 3-hour movie?
No, I didn't find it was a 3-hour movie because it
No.
kept going. Like, there was
Yeah.
no lull. Like, every scene had its purpose, and I didn't find any scene dragged longer than it had to.
Oh, that's good. Okay. And did they show any like real footage at all at any point in the movie?
No, not that I noticed.
No. Well, that's a fail.
No. Well,
You, sir,
what are
just
you gonna
wasted your time.
do?
No, I would like to
Yeah,
see
the
it.
only thing, like, my only gripe, and I've heard other people mention it too, is that, like, the test site that they set up, it's kind of laid out in the movie that we picked this site because there's nothing anywhere around it. But we all know there were, like, other towns and, like, there was native tribes and stuff that were near where they were testing that were affected by this, but that's not touched on at all.
That's
Which
crazy. If
I
you
don't
think
know.
about it, right?
Like, I could see maybe you not doing it because, like, that's another story to tell. Like, that's not central to this story because we're focusing on what these people are doing.
Okay, fair.
But
Yeah.
we all know history, you're doing a historic telling of what happened. That should have been touched on. But
That's
oh,
wild though when you think about it. Like the testing of an atomic bomb,
mhm.
and there are, settlements and villages and,
Yeah,
habitatual areas that are close by. It's like, holy fuck. Like,
yeah. It's
zero
New
disregard
Mexico.
for
It's New
okay.
Mexico. There was people there. Like, it's a state.
Yeah. I mean, but at that point, like, where would you go? I mean, you'd have to go to like some island, and anyway.
What do we know about nuclear testing on an island? You end up with Godzilla. So
Yeah, it's true.
maybe that's why you don't go
Oh,
there.
I did end up watching, it's on Apple TV, and it's with Kurt Russell.
Monarch.
Monarch.
Yeah.
I saw the first episode. I enjoyed it. I got a lot of the like Lost vibes with that first episode.
Yeah.
Um, and if that's the case, I really enjoyed Lost up until the last season. Yeah, the last season or two, really enjoyed it, and I got the same sense of intrigue on, the mystery of what is Monarch, and I would recommend it if you're able to watch it.
It's funny how, like, that movie franchise is focusing on the corporation behind all, like, the covering up of Godzilla and stuff like that. But go back to, like, Alien and stuff. We never really got into like the it was Utani or whatever the company was behind trying
Never
to,
saw it. Is that like who sent them up in space?
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
So it's
it's a
like
different take, right?
you set something up in, like, this franchise, and then everyone else is, like, taking the ball and running with it.
Hmm.
All these shady corporations.
Yeah, so I am gonna
Keep on that.
try and keep up on it for sure.
I think there's 10 episodes or 10 episodes have aired. I don't know if that's all of them or not.
Okay, good. Like when you start to get up to like 12 or higher, then I start to cringe because it's like, I don't know if I can get through that many episodes.
That's why we're how many years since Daredevil was canceled? You haven't finised season 3.
Oh yeah, I got that. I got that to watch. Oh yeah, shit. No, that'll happen. It'll happen.
All right, let's move into a bit of some news since we're talking about movies. They had the People's Choice Awards, the by far the worst award show in the history of award shows, in my opinion, because it's literally the equivalent of you voting for your friends.
It's a high school popularity contest, is what it is.
But I haven't really dug deep into this. Like, one thing about People's Choice Awards is if you turn it on and you see any celebrity in the crowd, you know they won because that's why they're there.
And they're probably paid to go there too, or at least put up in a hotel. Accommodations taken care of.
Yeah, they have that at the end, right? Promotional consideration provided by. But I was just looking at some of these nominees for things, and again, I said I haven't dug deep to it. I'm wondering how these are determined. If it's based on like it's a blanket just write in and they tabulate everything, and the highest totals is what's the nominees, or if they handpick them, it's even more ridiculous. But I'll not go through everything. I'll just go through some of the ones that have some questionable nominees in here. So, movie of the year.
God, hold on. Let's try and take a guess. Oh, you know this, right? So
yeah, I have it in front of me, so you can guess.
Yeah, movie of the year. I'm gonna guess Paw Patrol.
As the ridiculous one?
Yeah.
So we have the obvious ones: Oppenheimer, Barbie.
Yeah. Okay.
Across the Universe. Across the Spider-Verse. Guardians 3. The Super Mario Brothers movie. Then we get Little Mermaid. Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour film. So right there. Fast X.
See,
that's the one.
That's the one. Every other one that you had mentioned, except for Fast X, you could argue is one of the best movies last year. Fast X, it starts with them not using the title of the movie that they should have used, which was Fasten Your Seatbelts.
That's right. It was low-hanging fruit.
Right. The very definition of low-hanging fruit. But every other one. So is it like, do they have all of the genres that you would have with every other award show? Like Best Actor, Supporting?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I'm going, but
sweet.
Just for movies. Action Movie of the Year. Again, Fast 10 or Fast X. The Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, The Marvels, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, John Wick 4, Guardians 3, and everyone's personal favorite, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
No.
Yeah.
So hold on a second. Did all these movies win? Or
no,
were these just the nominees? Okay.
For like,
so basically every action movie that's if you were an action movie that was released last year, congratulations, you've been nominated. There's no debate.
So they do for movie star, not like for genre. It's the male movie star of the year. So we got Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, Chris Pratt, Guardians, Keanu, John Wick, Leo for Killers of the Flower Moon. Like this.
Don't say Vin Diesel.
Kids aren't watching. Michael B. Jordan for Creed 3, Ryan Gosling, Timothy Chalamet, Tom Cruise.
Timothy Chalamet for what? Wonka?
No. Oh, yeah. We did see that over Christmas. Did not care for it myself.
No,
because I'm original.
OG.
Gene Wilder is Wonka. You can't do it. After him, Michael Scott. Like that's the next best Wonka.
I'm a Wilder man for sure.
Female star. Like again, like we got movies like Julia Roberts has got nominated for Leave the World Behind. Like, come on.
Watch that movie.
I heard not too bad things.
It's good.
Then we go into action movie star of the year. Like this is all ridiculous. I'm not going to go over those. So we got comedy movie star of the year, drama movie star, movie performance of the year. Like, what is this? TV shows.
Hold on, movie performance of the year. Like, is it the movie that performed well, or someone that performed well?
No, the person who performed well in the movie.
Okay,
so, like your movie star of the year is not the same as your performance of the year.
Okay,
because it's designed to get as many celebrities possibly to show up by literally having redundant categories.
Yeah. Have you been in a film? Congratulations. Come on down.
Like we got, and then TV shows. We got TV show of the year, comedy show of the year, drama show of the year, sci-fi fantasy show of the year, reality show of the year, competition show of the year, binge-worthy show of the year.
Hold on. Back, pause. Go back up the truck. What was the reality show of the year? What were the nominees? I'll be the judge of that. Thank you very much.
Okay. So we have 90 Day Fiancé.
No, haven't seen it.
Below Deck, Jersey Shore, Family Reunion, Selling Sunset, Kardashians, Housewives of Beverly Hills, Housewives of Jersey, and your personal favorite,
Survivor.
Vanderpump.
Oh, Vanderpump's
Vanderpump
on
Rules.
there. There you go. Okay.
No, Survivor's enlisted in the competition show of the year.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, like every single one.
Yeah, I don't know how like a binge-worthy show and show of the year are two different things. I would think if the show was so good, you'd want to binge it, but here we are.
Right.
There's one thing that I think is like the most ridiculous that they did. I'm just trying to
Oh,
find
we
it
haven't
here.
covered that one yet?
No, it gets worse, my friend.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Skipping over the music ones. I can't remember what it was called.
Fucking music ones probably have all TikTokers.
So here we have the pop culture category. You know, I don't know why we're not in it.
Right.
But the social celebrity of the year, the comedy act of the year, athlete of the year. And who do you think is nominated for athlete of the year? I won't go through everybody else, but I'll go through the most ridiculous one.
Shohei Ohtani.
So aside from the obvious ones, he's unfortunately he's not in there. But the one that everyone was talking about, because again, we're doing this to get people to show up.
Oh, right.
Travis motherfucking Kelce.
Really?
Athlete of the year. Like in the same conversation as LeBron and Steph Curry and Messi, we have Travis Kelce. I wonder why.
For sure. And bring your girlfriend, Travis. Bring your girlfriend with you.
Yeah, like she's nominated. Like she's got in a movie of the year, and she's in like artist of the year in music. Like, come on. Like this is why I'm saying like shit. Like, this is garbage.
Don't get me wrong. He's arguably the best.
He's not a bad football player.
Position, but I mean, no. Did he win Super Bowl MVP last year? I don't think he did. He won the Super Bowl, sure, but it's. I mean, Shohei Ohtani should be on that list, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, like the guy pitches and bats regularly.
Oh man. Okay. So happy I didn't see that. Like, was this?
Yeah, that was on the radio this morning, so I looked into it further. I'm like, this is bullshit.
Wow.
And it's also one of those award shows that's pre-taped like weeks in advance, almost like the Kids' Choice Awards.
I don't get it. So, like, and this isn't obviously MTV that puts this on, right? Because that would be.
No, I think this is CBS for years have been doing it.
CBS.
Yeah, it's the oldest skewing network. You got to do something, I guess, to get the young ones to watch.
Oh God. Okay.
So we'll keep it the cringe. Did you see this week? Pop up on George Carlin.
No, but he's a goddamn saint. There's people trying to cancel him.
No, there's a new comedy special for George Carlin.
Get out.
Going to be done using AI.
Oh.
So it's not like it's old footage. It's not like it's recordings. It's going to be done using like basically ChatGPT with fucking George Carlin.
Well, I would like to be the first to welcome our new overlords to the entertainment industry. And now that we're just normalizing this shit, that's terrible. Yeah. And I mean, like, does that mean that the estate of George Carlin signed off on it, or that they sold their,
No, from what I heard, no, they didn't. Like, it was like his daughter's pissed.
I would be too. And like, yeah, he was a comedian that was well ahead of his time. I wouldn't say that he wouldn't be around today. I think he would be more popular today than he would have been back then. I just can't get over the AI part. Like, that's just, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why can't you just celebrate him by showing old footage? Like, surely he's got footage that most of us haven't seen. I mean, how many nightclubs or comedy clubs has he stood up in front of the spotlight and ran a set or two?
Yeah, that
probably hasn't been seen by the majority of people. Like, you probably know the famous sets and stand-ups that he's done. Oh, so when's this shit supposed to come out?
So the hour-long special, it dropped on this past Tuesday. It's from Dudsy, a comedy AI that hosts a podcast and YouTube show. Not to bash YouTube, that's where we are.
Sorry, so an AI is hosting its own podcast?
Yeah, it's hosted. It's an AI podcast and YouTube show with Will Sasso and a podcaster, Chad Kultgen. So I guess they wrote this the stand-up special. The AI-generated impression of Carlin tackled prevalent topics like mass shootings and American class system, streaming services, yada 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 yada.
That's probably why they did it, because the topics that he used to touch on are topics that are being discussed today.
Right. Naturally.
And so, let's use him as the proxy for what we want to talk about. It makes sense that you would go with George Carlin, but I just feel like it's such a disrespectful thing to go against, to do that.
Yeah, so Kelly Carlin, his daughter, said, my dad spent a lifetime perfecting his craft from a very human life, brain and imagination. No machine will ever replace his genius. These AI-generated products are clever attempts at trying to recreate a mind that will never exist again.
Perfect.
Let's let the artist's work speak for itself. Humans are so afraid of the void that we can't let what has fallen into stay there. So we can't let what has fallen into let it stay there. So here's an idea. How about we give some actual living human comedians a listen to? But if you want to listen to the genuine Carlin, he has 14 specials you can find anywhere.
A big old fuck you, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ah, that sucks. I would have watched it until you had me, until AI, and then you lost me.
Well, that's what they're hoping for.
Yeah. Or that people might not even, people that would stumble across it, watch it, not necessarily knowing that it's AI, but I guess, like, is it audio or is it like a visual?
Does it say? Actually look, it's like there's an AI doing it. Basically, it's impersonating his voice, because you can do that with AI audio.
Yeah. That's scary.
But not like hologramming and stuff. Do you remember his 7 words you can't say on TV?
Yeah. Oh, you want me to tell them to you?
Yeah, if you know.
Yeah, they were. One was cock. Because
I have them here, so I will correct you when you were
on. Cock, fuck. Well,
cock was a conjoiner. There's another part at the end of it.
Cocksuck.
There you go.
Cocksucker. Fuck. I can't remember the other ones. But as soon as you say them, I'm gonna shit.
Piss. Fuck. Cocksucker. Motherfucker. Tits. And we'll see you next Thursday.
Thursday. Oh, you're a Thursday guy. Okay. I was gonna say that. I knew that was one of them, but I just couldn't bring myself to say that. I didn't think to use the see you next Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah. Or it could just, we watch enough boys. You can say cunt.
That's right.
You're not directed at somebody.
Yeah, that's it. It's just general.
Just general.
Just general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to find, like, I've seen a lot of old stand-up, but I'm just like, what should I watch again that will be something that I'm not going to go, ugh.
Delirious.
That is one I'm going to go, ugh. But
you think so?
It's still funny. Well, he spends a good time. Well, it's the 80s, right? Going after gay men.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Again, it wouldn't be made.
But then again, should I watch it again? Looking at it's 2023, you can't say the stuff anymore or make jokes like that anymore. Or go in with how we should be, which is, this is not like no one's being attacked, right?
There's just observation. That's what stand-up comedy is all about. Is observation.
Everybody in that room is there to have a good time, and nobody's going after anybody. Like Eddie's making, like, using terms and stuff that probably shouldn't have said then, like you can't say now. But again, if nobody in that room is going like, this son of a bitch is saying these bad things,
he's not directly saying it to someone.
Yeah, like they're all here to have fun.
One, like, I don't know if you would want to say obscure, but when it was kind of in between Jamie Foxx's time on In Living Color and when he made it on the big screen, he did a stand-up special called Jamie Foxx in the Foxhole. I don't remember it in its entirety. I want to say it's from like 1996, 95, 96.
Okay.
And I remember it being quite funny. It pulled a lot of inspiration from Delirious and Raw,
Right.
but from Jamie Foxx's perspective as a comic, in the Foxhole, I think is what it was called. Now I'm gonna have to check it out. But if that's one that you're looking for that you haven't seen, that might be one. 1993. Shit, I didn't think it was
yeah,
that.
that's even
That
earlier.
1993. Okay, what was I watching at 1993? Jeez, watching this shit. Wow.
Like one I haven't watched again since obviously the grand fall of his career was Bill Cosby's himself. Which like for like it is like clean comedy, like observation, talking about, childhood and things like that, which I'm sure I could watch and not think about everything else.
Could you separate it though?
I would probably less likely be able to separate him doing that than if I would have watched the Cosby Show where he's playing Cliff Huxtable.
Yeah.
Being a character.
Yeah.
Versus this is, again, it's literally called himself.
Yeah. I don't know if I could separate it, but maybe.
I do think I have some Richard Pryor stuff too that I haven't watched in forever.
I mean, I was gonna say that for sure, but then I figured that would be
hey, lie, motherfucker.
Trying to go off the beaten path. Yeah, I would recommend Straight in the Foxhole is what it's called. Actually.
Straight in the Foxhole.
Straight from the Foxhole.
Straight from the Foxhole.
1993.
Kick you in the foxhole.
Kick you in the foxhole, motherfucker. Yeah. I love going to stand-up comedy shows. I really do. Yeah? I don't know. I mean, we used to do it quite often. We haven't done it since obviously COVID, but it's something that every single time I go, I enjoy myself. And it's not so much because they were hysterically funny, but it's, I mean, obviously in part that, but then I also really appreciate, them having the courage to go up there. And granted, we go to some shows where like that's what they do and that's what they're trying to make into the career. But I've also been to amateur nights where they like fucking bomb, but you appreciate it because at least they have the cojones to go up there and do a set and, get through the 2 to 3 minutes that they're on stage. So gotta do that more often.
Like 2 or 3 minutes you don't think is a long time, but when it's not going well, it's like a fucking.
You're just waiting for that red light at the front of the stage to go off to give you that 30-second warning, and it's just never coming. It's like,
where's that guy with that light?
Reminds me of there's a scene in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where the guys find out that Dee goes and moonlights as a stand-up comedian and she's completely horrible at it, and she gags because she gets so nervous on stage. And have you ever heard it's so funny. I would recommend anyone to go and YouTube the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the Dee stand-up bit. It's hilarious. You have to watch it.
Well, we're still plowing through Arrested Development.
Oh,
our first time watch.
And what do you think so far? Well, where are you? Like, where are you in the
season 4?
Okay,
like 5 or 6 seasons episodes in.
I mean, I haven't seen season 4 and on, but the first 3, are they not just? Is it not just brilliant?
Oh yeah,
like it's hilarious, so good.
Like the biggest complaint we have for season 4 thus far is it's edited differently. Like it's kind of like each episode, rather than plucking parts of a story here and there, it's like kind of self-contained.
Yeah,
but it's still an overarching plot throughout the season, so you're getting bits and pieces in one episode,
right,
surrounding the one character. The next episode will like kind of jumps back prior to what you just saw because this character's story takes place at this point. Then it overlaps a bit. But then it continues on, and it's just you're doing it jumping back and forth. I know they said there's a remix cut of it where it's they kind of edited back to make it similar to how the first 3 seasons went. But we're already halfway through the season, so we maybe revisit it down the line.
Do they address the gap in between seasons 3 and 4? Because it's got to be at least 10 years from when season 3 came out to when season 4. It's not. There was
like they as the story's telling, they go back to like when we last saw them. This happened, and now it's this time after. And one last shitty thing to bring up before move on to the other stuff. Over the break, Cindy Morgan passed away. Now, you and I are big comedy fans, so we know her from a little film called Caddyshack.
I'm going to go out right now and say I haven't seen Caddyshack.
Son of a bitch. I gave you props. I
haven't seen it all the way through. I've seen the first like little bit of it, but I haven't seen it through and through.
Well, you know what? We're going to have to start rehearsing shows.
Yeah.
Or you can just go with
it. Go with it. No.
There's no even point of fucking playing the clip. Because like it's such a memorable fucking scene.
Go for it. No, do it. Do it. Do
it. Don't let you ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
So the scene is talking about the favorite prior to Bill Murray's character finding the chocolate bar thinking it's a piece of shit. Okay. This is a very iconic scene at the pool.
She's incredible.
How everybody stops dead.
Yeah.
To get the stunt double in it.
Oh, great fun. How much pee do you think is in that pool?
Well, it's a public pool.
That's right.
It's like 90%.
It's that yellow tinge. Oh,
yeah.
Rest in power.
I would have had more, but again, you hadn't seen the movie all the way through, so.
It was one, though. It was on AMC just before the Christmas holiday.
It's always on AMC.
It is. And so I started watching it, and then I forget what took me away from it, but something did. Life did.
Life finds a way.
Because it's who is it? It's Chevy Chase. That's
Chevy Chase.
That Dangerfield. That kid was caddying for Chevy Chase, right? Yeah. Okay. Because I remember at the beginning they was talking to him about what he needs to do, and I just haven't seen it through.
Bill Murray, Rodney Dangerfield, directed by Hal Ramis.
Yeah, classic
that you have not seen all the way through.
So on that note,
all right, we'll break, and then other side, the usual, the news of the geeks. Can't do those commercials anymore. I saw that on Threads. It was like, why can't we go back to having commercials? Like, yes, suggestive, but also hilarious.
Oh, that is hilarious. I was not seeing that coming. And the guy pushes around.
Yeah. It's my Doritos dust.
Oh,
Again, if you want to know what we're laughing at, youtube.com at OpenColorPod for all your YouTube viewing pleasure.
Oh, did you happen to find out what year, like what time frame that commercial was from?
I think it was 03.
Wow, that long ago. Wow. Okay.
You're allowed to objectify people back in 2003.
Apparently.
Oh, and also in the 80s, as we saw in the previous clip.
Wow.
All right.
That was a great commercial.
Geek news. So, Echo dropped earlier this week. Now, you have watched one episode. I have watched 2. So, we'll focus solely on episode 1. Now, before we get into that, I did see this on Threads while I was waiting for us to go up. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with David Chen. He used to host a Slash podcast. I think it's called something else now. Used to write for slashfilm.com. Anyhow, he brought up a good point. I don't know if you'll think of watching the first episode. He said, putting aside whether or not Echo is excuse me, any good, he finds it is it completely bizarre for Marvel to introduce this show with a Marvel Spotlight banner that is supposedly indicating a more standalone, non-interconnected story, and then proceed to have an opening 30 minutes that is almost incomprehensible unless you've seen at least one other Marvel show.
100%.
They don't identify or explain at all. Like, what the fuck is going on over there?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's true, because I have seen all that stuff, so I know exactly what was going on. But if I hadn't, I wouldn't have known what was going on at all. But again, to say that this Marvel Spotlight is supposed to be like kind of like self-contained one-shots where you don't necessarily have to watch anything else to know what's going on, but you had to have watched Daredevil, you've had to have watched Hawkeye. You've had to watch what was the other thing that they showed in there too?
Just those two. I think it was just those two, wasn't it? There was obviously that scene when she was hiding up against the wall when she drove up with the motorcycle like to the shop or whatnot, and then Ronan was there. And then
maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Ronan was there was touched upon in flashbacks of Hawkeye.
But Ronan was Ronan in Hawkeye?
I think it was a flashback.
Okay, yeah. Because I feel like I've seen that scene. I've seen the scene where she was, even when she was in the parking lot and Ronan took off his mask and he was like, Clint was saying to her that we're the same. Was that a flashback in the Hawkeye series? I think it was.
No.
Because anyway, I found the first half. I found the first half very almost confusing because it was kind of all over the place and
it's disjointed.
It finally got to the point where Kingpin was shot. That I was like, okay, it kind of just is bringing you up to speed, but there could have been a much better way of doing that. And then the other thing is also there was just like I felt like I was watching fucking Inspector Gadget, where if you remember that show, music is always playing, and it was always music playing. And it was almost like they were showing me like short clips of something instead of a fluid TV show, if that makes sense.
No, it does. I found like too, they're trying to set the depending on the song, they're seemingly like they're trying to set like a period in time.
Yeah,
because like there's Casey and JoJo. Like, wow, this is like 97.
Yeah, it was. And then I mean, Marvel. I do not get why they can't understand how to make it not look like a green screen, like when they're on top of the water tower.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
And it's like, oh my god, like
very bad.
Civil War came out when 2016. So we're going to 7 years, and like the reason why I bring up Civil War, I'm sure there's other cases that are much earlier, but like the the infamous airport scene where like that's always referenced as just a very bad CGI green screen effect that was used by Marvel Studios, and it just, I mean, guys, like why can't you even build like a little miniature, like I don't know, like there's surely
use backdrops.
There's got to be something that you can do.
I was just say, it reminds me of when they used to upconvert movies when they had like that peak of the 3D releases. They would film a movie that's not in 3D, but then they would convert it to 3D. So It's basically just looks like a character that's on top of a fake background, and that's what we have now. But this is just they put up a tarp that's blue, and we'll add the background later. I find, like I've said this before, and you go back to past episodes, Marvel relies too much on CG for things that it doesn't need to be doing.
Yeah. Why can't it
Like
just be
they go on like location to shoot shit, but then they put a tarp behind them.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't find a water tower anywhere in Atlanta where you're shooting this stuff?
There's literally one down the street from me. Come to Ottawa.
Right? Or just go up on top of the studio you're filming and shoot the skyline and add the water tower.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, like you have to, it's all the time. Like go back just behind it. You can Google it. There's behind the scenes shots of Far From Home of Sam Jackson sitting in a chair holding half of a gun. They added the rest CGI. Why? Give him a prop.
Yeah. Did she was she missing her leg in Hawkeye? She must have.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
This origin story. I don't remember being a part of like anything that was told.
Yeah.
A lot of reading in this one for those who are...
I know. Like I watched it over lunch.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Character is deaf.
Yeah.
So a lot of ALS. Or ASL, adult sign language. ASL. Sorry. ALS.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I was gonna watch it over, like I was watching it over lunch and eating my lunch or whatever and getting it ready, like grabbing a drink and just kind of having it and realizing, no, I've got to actually like watch it.
Yeah.
I've got to focus on it, which
you have to read this show.
Honestly. And I guess the other thing too would be like, so I guess Kingpin has lost an eyeball now. Is that a thing? I'm so confused on the timeline. Because where did we last see Kingpin? We last saw Kingpin
Hawkeye
was it Hawkeye?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? It's because I'm watching season 3 of Daredevil and I'm getting all skewed. Never mind.
Okay,
so then it makes
proceeds. So the way I look at it is Daredevil happens, and then they get blipped, and then he comes back in like Hawkeye.
Right.
And he's a Hawaiian shirt.
In 5 episodes? Why not 6?
I don't know.
What's the answer, Corey? I need to know.
Let me check.
Reasons.
Reasons. Steve. Reasons.
Oh man. I'll still watch it. I mean, I'll still watch it. Why not? It wasn't terrible. I mean, if the green screen backgrounds continue, it might take me out of it, but I'll give it one mulligan.
It really does take me out when the CG is really bad.
Just like noticeable. And then it just begs the question, like, is it made for us or is it made for a younger group that isn't as nitpicky as maybe we are?
No, I don't think so. I think like it can be bad if it doesn't take you out of it, but as soon as you start pointing it out, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to see the strings, right?
No.
You want to watch the show. You don't want to be sitting there going, "Oh, I know how that trick's done."
Yeah, I've seen this.
You want the illusion to be so good that like it's something fun. But I was just happy to see Matt in his old fighting ways again.
That was awesome. Like the choreography for that fight scene was amazing. There was that one bit of that fight scene where he flew through the table, like in the little opening. Oh, it was awesome. Yeah. It was like, that's why he's my favorite Marvel character right there.
And ever since that episode, I've seen a lot of people. Somebody did like a fan made. I guess they took a video game and edited to have the character look like Daredevil, and he's doing like with the sticks and all that shit. And they're like, there needs to be a video game of where you're Daredevil doing like your parkour and all this shit. I'm like, this would be fun. Spidey can't do it all.
Wasn't there a video game though? Like maybe it was Spider-Man, but wasn't there a video game where you could do parkour like along the city? It probably was Spider-Man.
Probably.
But yeah, you can make a kick-ass game out of Daredevil.
Why not?
Go do Hell's Kitchen and yeah. Yeah, I what would you give it out of,
So far,
yeah.
of the 2 episodes that I've watched, like it's sitting there at a 6. Like having Maddie around, and again, fucking Fisk. Like when I heard that the plan is the Thanos of the street level, I'm like, I'm for it.
Yeah.
You give me D'Onofrio, I'm good.
Yeah. And you could see that they did, at least, it's funny because we bitch about how they're just not self-aware of the green screens and whatnot. But then you look at Fisk and they are aware of, like, they need to make him look big. And I don't know if you noticed it, but when he was in the limousine or when he was sitting at the table with his interpreter or person that can do sign language, it almost looked like he was wearing shoulder pads. Like they made him look just ever so slightly bigger, and built. Like, that's obviously not his true body frame.
Yeah.
So I was like, that was cool. But then I also wondered, like, why, if this person had known Maya, if Fisk had known Maya for so long and, loved her and, she was his niece, why wouldn't he have learned sign language? Why is he relying on the person that's always in the shadow? You can't even see what she looks like. How is Maya supposed to see what the sign language is when she's constantly dark? There's no light on her. I don't get it.
It's fine.
I do not get it.
It's fine.
And then I'm watching, and then I'm starting to get a little nitpicky too when they're in the limousine and they're talking, and she's looking at Fisk, talking with Fisk. Like, but I never see her glance over to see what is actually being said through sign language. He's just they're locked. Their eyes are locked. Nitpicking.
Fisk has no time for sign language learning.
That's right.
He's got a whole city to take over.
Corrupt.
That's right.
Yeah, though, Thanos street level. What does that even mean? Like that's what I'm excited for, because if you think about the scale at which Thanos wanted to control the universe, or at least manipulate the universe, think about that on a street level, what Fisk wants to do.
Like, what we've seen so far, like, wouldn't it be nice to have, I know they try to do it with the Defenders, but to have
the Defender saga?
Not even just that. I'll go into what's rumored this is all leading up to in a second. But to have just this guy wanting to take over a city, and you have the city people that are trying to stop, rather than someone trying to blow up half the universe or blow up a country. It's just New York. It's just a metropolis. It's a tri-county. Like, he's just focusing over here.
It's not as lame as real estate, but it's not as bogus as, like, universe conquering.
Like aliens coming through, and there's a portal and a wormhole.
There's like a happy medium, and I think Fisk just narrowly slides into that niche of just wants to take over a city.
Yeah, like, kind of what we thought was being set up with the Wrecking Crew and She-Hulk. Like, he's sure he's in New York running shit, but he's stuff's going around the rest of the country. Little thing, so I saw a rumor that after this Thanos thing came out, that we're looking at a possibility of an adaptation of Devil's Reign.
Ooh, nice.
So they're saying between Daredevil season 4 or Reborn and Echo would lead into Spider-Man 4. Because it's rumored that Maddie is going to show up there and Fisk, but that's what people are speculating. That's where
who wrote
the things that could.
Is it Zdarsky? I think it was Zdarsky. It was a great miniseries. Sorry, I'll let you go on.
No, that's all I was saying. Just the 3 shows. 2 shows: Echo, Daredevil, Born Again, and
then going right into this one. Devil's Reign
in the background, and I see one eye.
Yeah, it was written by Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto, who is an absolutely brilliant artist. Great series. I'd be interested in if it was Devil's Reign. There's something that happens with that where Daredevil's identity is a factor in Devil's Reign, and it goes all the way back to not even Born Again. Well, it goes back to Born Again because of what Karen Page had done in that storyline with his identity. But then if you fast forward, there was a story plot by I think it was Brian Michael Bendis Yeah, it was Brian Michael Bendis was before Ed Brubaker, and there was a storyline about Matt Murdock's identity, and then it comes back to be revisited in Devil's Reign. And that's all I'm going to say, because if I say any more, it'll spoil the story.
Spoil the potential rumored thing that may or may not happen.
But at the
Or
very
if you
least,
want to read it,
you can read the book, and it's like the source material. It is a phenomenal. There's few writers that, in my opinion, have had their handle on Daredevil.
Though, and I'm just gonna say what I like about this kind of stuff is that, well, I got into comics a long time ago when they started doing the movies. That's what brought me back into them. Is that most of the storylines they seem to have been adapting were ones that are extremely well known, that people just even in glancing heard of, like Civil War and Skrulls and Invasion. But I never heard of Devil's Reign, and I was from what you said and then what I've glanced upon just reading it on the articles, it's nice that there's good runs that may not have been huge that the general public would know, that are fucking same brilliant, that are worth adapting for something like this.
Yeah,
if they do it right, because they fucking botched Secret Invasion.
Well, they certainly did. So Devil's Reign, it's 6 issues. I think it's 6 issues.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. It happens in between 2 volumes that Chip Zdarsky has written on Daredevil. And Marco Cicchetto is on that entire run. A few filler episodes or a few filler issues that have that he wasn't drawing the issue, but yeah, highly recommended. I would definitely recommend reading that run. If anything, for the art too. You may not like the story, but the art is just beautiful, beautiful.
Now, you sent this to me when I thought, hey, this guy's on vacation. Why is he sending me shit to talk about? But public domain is a big thing that came up this year, because as we know, or people who are not familiar, as of January 1st of this year, not exactly this guy over here in the corner, bottom corner right, Mickey Mouse, is public domain, but his first appearance is the Steamboat Willie version. So essentially what that says is Disney no longer owns the copyright on that version, and that version alone, of Mickey Mouse. But his current version he owns whatever. But you were pointing out that there are some things that are coming up with the next year or two. And
I'm trying to find
further down the line. Oh, I saved the thing you sent me.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So some notable characters, and we'll see how this ties into Geek News in a second, coming up in the next couple years. So Pluto, Mickey's dog, in 2026. Universal's Frankenstein's monster. I think Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, that story itself, has been forever. Universal's version of Dracula. And also that's in 2027. 2030, Donald Duck's copyright's gone. 2033, Daffy Duck. But here we go.
And
this is where things get interesting. 2034, so 10 years, less than 10 years from now, because again, January 1, Superman. 2035, Batman. And 2037, Wonder Woman. So DC's Trinity within the next decade and a half will be up for anybody just fuck around with. We'll be seeing Batman murdering people left and right in some horror low budget film.
And this is what confused me, was that can they not renew the property, or is it just regardless of what happens, it's public domain and that's it?
So my understanding was, there was somebody complained about how you can just copyright and someone owns it forever. People thought that's bullshit. So I think they said it's a 70 or 80 year max term. Right. But what Disney did was, with respect to the Steamboat Willie, is they incorporated the opening animation as part of their Disney Animation Studios, fanfare opening. When you watch movie, you watch Frozen, that little Steamboat Willie with the tune. So they trademarked that. So while the character in the version is public domain, anybody can fuck around with it, you're limited because the cartoon animation showing how he's interacting in the music and stuff is now a trademark, and trademarks have no expiration to them. So you can do only so much with that clip of that movie and subsequently the look of the character, because people just assume, oh, Mickey Mouse, and they're starting to make merch and stuff. But because it's a registered trademark, your hands are kind of tied of how much you can and cannot do with it. So I think you're probably going to see something like that happen with Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
Like you might get the Bob Kane, Bill Finger, like the first, the big ears with the purple mitts.
Yeah.
Like it might be that version,
the car, or yeah.
Same with Superman. Like his is harder because he's always been that red and blue with the S. Like, there's only so many ways you can change him, right? If it's the first
Batman one is a good point, right? Like he looked more, very long and purple, like the purple outfit. And
let's see if I can pull it up quickly.
Yeah, so
that seems to be what they do. It's
like I thought it would be interesting to discuss, because on one hand, you could look at it and say, okay, we might see some refreshing. Maybe refreshing is not the right word to use, but we'll see some different takes on the characters that we otherwise have never seen. But then you would have, on the other side to that coin would be it's bad for the character, and especially with DC, because they just can't seem to get it right when it comes to movies and these properties, that people taking liberties on the character and making a horror movie out of them, or like an R-rated or an X-rated movie out of them, will drive people away from what Scott Snyder was trying to do, or what James Gunn is trying to do. Do you know what I mean? Like when people are trying to legitimize the property, but then you have others that are just trying to take it to the 9th degree.
Yeah. So here's your very first appearance of Batman. What he looked like.
Yeah.
So you have like the Wolverine type ears on the cowl, the purple gloves, but other than that, the rest is pretty much what you see.
Pretty standard, yeah.
Although I wonder if when they do that, you'll finally get white eyes.
Yeah.
Just the white slats, nothing else.
What would you do though? Like, could you do? Because I mean, we saw it with Winnie the Pooh, and now it's with Steamboat Willie, Goofy, and we're going to see it with Daffy Duck. But in 10 years' time, are we going to see Superman and Batman horror movies?
I don't know. Truthfully, you know what? I think you'll probably see just this massive amount. Like we already get a lot of them, but you'll see a ton of fucking fan films, and they won't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
And you'll probably get like the most like accurate portrayals that you've ever had, because people are going, I'm going to do my version now.
You might actually get some well done storylines that were like, I'm trying to think of Batman Year One, or Superman, what was the Superman's One Krypton or something like that. Like Jeff Johns wrote the run. I can't remember what it was, but what the name of it is. But yeah, you might get some really accurate, comic accurate. Last Krypton is what it is, I think. Yeah. But then, with Wonder Woman, like, wasn't she created by whoever the creator of Wonder Woman was like a sexist freak of some sort?
They did a movie about that.
And they were trying to like sexualize the character, and so I mean, what are they going to do with Wonder Woman? I'm surprised. Like they just don't stop at the trendy. Like tell me everything else. Like when is Flash's property going to be up? When is Green Lantern's? Because they're all in and around the same time.
All right then.
Okay. Well, I mean, if we don't have to do it right now.
I stopped because it was 10 slides, man. Get off my ass.
No.
You didn't watch Caddyshack.
Yes, I didn't. Homework, I will say. Did you see the Winnie the Pooh horror movie?
No.
Okay. I certainly did not. So
I know there's competing Mickey Mouse ones coming out.
Competing? There's 2 of them?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, God. Yeah, okay, like why?
Because reasons.
That's the name of the episode. Reasons.
Well, like it's mainly because it's public domain, so anybody can do anything.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have to I
Was
cannot
the
find anything about the Flash.
oh, it's homework. It'll be our OC homework.
I did find like Adobe Flash, but that doesn't help you.
No, definitely doesn't.
Anyway,
Doesn't help me at all.
next episode, I'll have it.
Okay.
Back to Batman. This has already been debunked, but I will based on this story, I want to know what you think the odds of these characters ever showing up. So Professor Pig, Scarecrow, Clayface, Hush, and Dick Grayson were at one point rumored to be appearing in Matt Reeves' Batman Number Dos until James Gunn said nothing. But do you foresee? I still don't understand why we're still on Clayface, but Professor Pig. I know he showed up in Gotham. This the TV show.
He showed up in Tom King's most recent run. Before, forget who took it over, who's writing it now. But Tom King had a lengthy run of Batman, and Professor Pig was a pretty prominent character during that run.
Now, is it just because he looks like fucked up?
Yeah, and it's just like it's a whole gothic, like, you know, twisted, and that's really generally what the Batman characters are like, right? Like they're just all messed up, you know. And
so, based on the obscure characters that may or may not show up, and rehashing Scarecrow, possibly if something down the line does end up being true again, what would your non-already adapted character choice be for a Batman to go up against?
Do you have one?
Top of my head, I would like to see Mad Hatter.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I
maybe not have it so closely tied to Alice in Wonderland as much, but he could just do the same thing. You know, it's mind control, right?
I know he's been adapted already, but I would really like to try and see Riddler be done again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, obviously the version that we have is campy. Which is sorry, I didn't even think about the Paul Dano one. Okay, so scratch that. That's tough. Clayface. I'm gonna go with Clayface.
You think Clayface will work in realistic?
Yeah, I think you can. I think, you know, Clayface is like, I mean, you can make it that he's just takes on the identity of.
So he's less like
portray, and he's less like
his face. Yeah,
yeah,
it's more just like a ghost.
Yeah,
like a spy that can just.
But then, does it take away from?
He's like Ethan Hunt, you know, just putting the masks on.
Yeah, it's funny, eh? Like you've got Batman as one of the characters that has one of the most respected rogues galleries, and here I am like struggling to like pick a character.
About, like even like Scarface in the ventriloquist, like that's just a fucking dummy.
Yeah.
I would also, my second pick would be if they could do it close to how Paul Dini wrote him in the animated series, Mr. Freeze.
Oh yeah.
Make him serious, make him not campy at all. Take everything that Arnold did and throw it out.
Mm-hmm.
And just have him be like the just dreary, soulless, not soulless, heartless, because he's cold.
Yeah.
Iceman that he is.
I'm gonna go
just trying to save his life.
Eggman,
yes.
Vincent Price's Eggman. No. Why not? Fuck it.
Damn, you had me.
Just do it.
And get Nick Cage to play him.
Yeah, it's tough. Because you think about it, it's like he has had a lot of his rogues calories that's you know been on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're good or not, I mean, He's had a lot of them. I guess that
Keep going
generally
back to the Joker. That's what they do the most.
because he can just be the scariest, you know. But Professor Pig could be scary too.
No, doll maker.
Yeah, Toyman.
If they do it like in the books where he's like literally like fucking chopping people up.
Toyman too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Toyman. Although like some of these names aren't very scary.
Huh. No, they're not.
Back to Batman. See, Alan Ritchson, Jack Reacher himself, wants to be Batman. I think it's a good pick. If they go that route. I know he was Hawk on Titans. So you see him in the super suit. But
I feel like
do you watch Reacher?
I saw the first episode on Monday night, and Jade and I watched it.
Huge.
He is massive, and that was going to be my thing. Is I think he might be a bit too big for Batman, if that makes sense.
Although he's probably as big as how Affleck's suit was in Snyder's fucking Batman.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So he wouldn't even need a costume.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like Batman shouldn't be built like a shit brick house. Just be like, muscular and lean.
If you're that big, like as soon as the suit comes off and you're walking around in like your 3-piece Armani, they're gonna go, dude, you're kind of you're
kind of Batman, dude.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Let's be serious. You're Batman.
He was good as Hawk. I enjoyed him as Hawk in Titans.
If he didn't get like other work, he would have been on that longer.
Yeah. Yeah. But man, he is big, massive. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm just gonna say he's a bit too big for Batman. As if that's a complaint for someone wanting to portray a superhero. He's too big.
This guy's got too many muscles.
He's got too many muscles. He needs to fatten up. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So you not to stay on Batman, but I don't have a slide for it, but I'll just bring it up. Did you see that when Gunn was setting up his DCU, they were going to go with Matt Reeves' Batman, like Robert Pattinson's Batman as the Batman in the DCU, but then Matt Reeves decided not to keep it separate.
Oh, it was Reeves that decided to do that.
Mm-hmm. That's per James Gunn. He decided to keep.
Well, just maybe because of creative control, I guess. Like that's the only thing I can think of is that he would have to...
Like he probably had his idea for 2-3 movies, whatever he wanted to do, and it's like, if I incorporate this, what else am I gonna have to?
Yeah. What other lines am I gonna have to tape into the thread of my story?
Do I want it? Like I saw what they did with Iron Man 2. Does I want that to happen with my sequel?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Good for him. And who's to say? I mean, DC, they have a multiverse. Maybe there's just a different Earth that,
And the last bit of Batman thing
that
I have in relation to that. So when the Batman came out, right after, there was talk of doing like a GCPD series on HBO Max. Then that was Penguin and a GCPD. And then it was Arkham and Penguin. Well, now they're saying Arkham, which was supposed to be a spinoff of the Batman, is going to take place in the DCU, which now we've established is outside the Batman. So how is it a spinoff of a movie that doesn't take place in this new canon? You see why I'm confused by what James Gunn's doing the fuck over there?
It's like the old Family Guy skit when Jesus is like, no, and then it's trying to confuse everyone. It's working because I don't. That's like a huh?
So like you're spinning off to create a TV show from a movie that you're now saying is not going to be related to this TV series. So it's not a spin-off. It's just you're going to set up a new universe. We're going to do a show based on Arkham with no cast Batman. So what's the tone? What's it supposed to look like? Like, we don't know anymore. We thought we did.
It's like what Darth Helmet says to Lord or whatever the guy is in Spaceballs. Your brother's cousin's next door neighbor's roommate. What does that make us? Absolutely nothing.
Pretty much.
Lone Star was his name. That's right.
Good old Lone Star.
So confusing.
Yeah. But hey.
When is when is Superman Legacy supposed to come out? Next year or this year?
2025.
Oh.
Supposed to start shooting in the spring.
God. This feels like forever. As much as like there's all this, confusion about the gun universe or whatnot, I just want to see. How it starts,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of go from there. Anyway,
will we though? Will we make it to 2025?
I don't know. We may not.
The snowpocalypse is coming.
We may not.
That's all I got. You have anything to add?
No. Other than thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Open Collar. Since we are your favorite geek culture podcast, if you enjoyed the discussion, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button on your podcast aggregator of choice. Or if you're watching us live on the YouTubes, you can do it there too. Like, subscribe, notify, all of that. Or you can do both. Why not? Give us a follow on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and you can search at Open Collar Pod. As always, we appreciate your support and a big shout out to our awesome collar community. Until next time, stay geeky and keep those collars popping.
Why? Reasons. And now your first feel-good Feldman of 2024.
Yes.
What are you morons doing? What? Tell her where's the car. Come on, we gotta go now. Not now. Wait, what do you mean not now, Bobby? You started this.
Started what?
Joel's going after Dumas.
He's a big boy. He can take care of himself. I've got things to do.
Oh, you have things to do. Great. So I shit on a friend for you? For what, Bobby? So you can walk away?
He's got a gun. He's gonna kill him.
We gotta go. I'll talk to him.
All right, listen, Lainey. You stay here. I'll be back.
No, I'm coming with you.
Women, there she is. Lainey, get in. You're going home.
No, Mother.
I said get in the car. I've already heard about that fight you were in. Get away from her. Young man, I don't want you to see my daughter anymore.
Lainey, get in the
Ron,
car.
could you...
Hey, give it!
What told me?
All right, listen. Lainey, go home with them. Don't cause a scene. I'm gonna be by the house later on.
No, Bobby, you won't be coming by later.
I'll be by. Don't fall asleep.
Be careful.
Come on, Lainey.